This may sound like an exaggeration, but there is one simple thing you can do every single day, something so easy and so small that it can completely open the doors to divine help in your life. This practice doesn't require money, fame, or even anyone else's approval. It doesn't need the perfect environment, a special time, or a secret place. You can do it quietly while walking, working, or sitting in your room. Yet, it is one of the most overlooked tools of transformation in the world today. This act is speaking. Specifically, speaking something out loud with your heart involved. Repeating it again and again until your whole energy shifts around it. It's about saying the right words 100 times a day. Not just any words, but words that speak to the life you want, the help you need, and the truth you are ready to believe. At first, it might feel mechanical or strange, but as the days go by, you'll begin to feel something inside you shifting. Your inner world gets lighter. Your thoughts start to match your hopes, and without even noticing it, you'll begin to see changes around you. What's happening is not random. You're not just repeating words, you are sending a signal into the spiritual world. The words you speak start to form a path, a trail, that divine help follows. Just like a lighthouse sends light to guide a ship in the dark, your words become light for your blessings to find you. You're not begging, you're not chasing, you're aligning, you're creating room, you're giving heaven a clear space to land. Many people live years hoping for change, but never understand how powerful their spoken words are. They go to sleep each night carrying the weight of the same old thoughts and wake up into the same old struggles. But the truth is, they never really changed the words they were sending out. And if you don't change the signal, you can't expect a different reply. Doing this one thing, repeating the right message 100 times a day, will turn your whole life into a different direction. It might seem too simple, but the divine doesn't always respond to complex rituals. Sometimes, what brings the breakthrough is a steady, consistent message filled with faith. And this is where it all begins. It's not that the divine doesn't want to help you. In fact, help is always near, always waiting. But the spiritual world responds to clarity. It responds to strong, steady signals, not confusion, not scattered energy, and not silence. When you're not speaking, when you're not affirming or asking or declaring the help you need, you leave your side of the connection quiet. It's like waiting for someone to call you back while your own phone is turned off. You might think that just wishing for things to get better is enough, but wishing is soft. It has no shape, no direction. Speaking, on the other hand, gives that wish a path. It tells heaven, here I am, I'm ready, I'm serious, I believe. The universe listens to language. It watches where your energy goes, and your energy always follows your attention, and your attention is shaped by what you say the most. Let's be honest, how many times a day do we repeat things like, I can't take this anymore, nothing ever works out, I'm stuck, I'm tired of this. These are words we say without thinking. But even though they seem harmless, they are shaping our days. They create the walls we keep running into. They build the loop we can't break out of. You don't mean to send out fear, frustration, or hopelessness, but when those are the only things your voice keeps feeding into the air, that's what gets mirrored back. Now think of what happens when you flip it. Imagine instead saying, I am being helped, I am protected, I am guided, everything is falling into place for me. Say that 100 times. Let it settle deep. Say it when you're feeling low. Say it when you're confused. Say it when there's no evidence yet. Do it anyway. You're not lying. You're planting. You're not pretending. You're preparing. And slowly, the spiritual world starts responding differently. Doors begin to unlock. People show up at the right time. That solution you couldn't see, it appears, and it's been waiting on the other side of your own words. But if you don't send that signal, if you stay quiet or negative or numb, the help that's meant for you has nowhere to land. It waits, not because you're being punished, but because you haven't said, "Come in." You haven't made space. So this is the power of doing this one thing. Repeating the right truth 100 times a day tells life and spirit and God, "I am open now." And that's when divine help begins to move. Words are not just sounds, they are seeds. Every word you say falls into the soil of your day, and in time, it brings back a harvest, good or bad. What you say becomes what you believe, and what you believe becomes what you experience. It happens so slowly that you don't always notice it, but one day, you wake up and realize your life is matching the story you've been telling. That's why repeating something 100 times a day is not silly or excessive. It's actually training your whole inner world to shift. It's like turning the wheel of a ship. At first, the direction barely changes. But as the wheel keeps turning, the entire journey starts heading somewhere new. It's the same with your life. When you say something with faith again and again, even if it feels small at first, your heart begins to lean in that direction. Your mind starts to accept it. Your energy becomes tuned to it, and then your actions follow it. The divine doesn't only respond to your needs, it responds to your alignment. If your words are full of fear but your desire is peace, the divine can't interfere the way you hope. It respects your free will. It reflects what you allow. That's why your words are the bridge between your struggle and your miracle. Every time you say something positive, powerful, and full of belief, you are building a new world inside you, and that world will begin to take shape outside you. Think of it like this. If you keep saying, "I don't know what to do," you train your mind to stay confused. But if you start saying, "I always find a way," your mind begins looking for paths. If you keep saying nothing works out, you train your energy to expect failure. But if you say, "Everything works out for me in the end," your heart becomes softer, your steps more confident, your eyes open wider. You may not see big changes in the beginning, but that doesn't mean it's not working. Some things grow underground before they ever break the surface. You may say it 100 times a day for weeks without proof. But then suddenly, a shift, a new opportunity, a strange peace. Someone calls, something clears up. That's not luck. That's not chance. That's your harvest. So keep planting, even when it's hard, even when you're tired, even when nothing looks different yet. You're not just speaking into the air, you're building something eternal. You're shaping a version of yourself that divine help can reach and will reach again and again. Now the question is, what words are you choosing to repeat 100 times a day? Because your answer will shape everything that comes next. It's easy to get caught in a cycle of speaking about your problems. Life gets hard, and without even thinking about it, you start talking about everything that's wrong. I'm broke. I'm exhausted. No one listens to me. I don't know how to fix this. These words might feel like harmless expressions of how you feel, but they carry power. They're not just passing through you, they're shaping what's forming around you. Every time you speak about what you don't want, you send that message into the world. You say, "I hate this," and the world echoes back, "Here's more of what you hate." You say, "This always happens to me," and life replies, "Yes, it does." It's not punishment, it's alignment. What you focus on expands, and what you speak out grows roots. But here's the good news. You can choose different words. You can shift your focus from fear to faith. Instead of saying what's wrong, you can speak what you desire. You can start saying, "I'm being supported. I am strong enough for this moment. Solutions are coming. I trust the process." Even if you don't fully believe it yet, the act of saying it changes something inside you. Speaking what you want is not pretending that nothing is wrong. It's choosing not to give your power away to the problem. You're not ignoring your pain. You're feeding your healing. You're not denying the storm. You're calling in the calm. This is not wishful thinking. It's spiritual discipline. It's training your heart to lean into hope no matter what you see with your eyes. When you do this 100 times a day, it becomes a part of you. The words you speak settle deep. They rewrite old stories. They interrupt patterns of doubt and fear. They invite divine help into your situation, not because you're perfect, but because you're present, you're aware, you're open. So the next time you catch yourself talking about what you don't want, pause, shift, speak what you do want, even if it feels awkward at first, even if your heart isn't sure, keep going. Say it again and again. You're not just saying words, you're choosing your future, one sentence at a time. There's a deep secret in the way the universe works, and it has everything to do with identity. Most people think, once things change, I'll change. Once I get what I want, I'll feel better. Once help comes, I'll be different. But that's not how it works. The truth is the opposite. Once you change, the outside world responds. Once you speak and act like the person who's already supported, already loved, already guided, divine help begins to appear in your life. The person who receives help is not someone waiting, begging, or hoping desperately. That person is calm. They trust. They already feel supported before the support shows up. They say things like, I am safe. Everything is working out. I am walking in the right direction. Not because they see the full path, but because they trust who's guiding them. You can become that person right now. You don't need proof. You don't need a sign. You need a decision, and that decision happens through your words. When you say the right thing 100 times a day, something powerful takes place. Your identity begins to shift. You stop being someone who's trying to believe and start being someone who knows. Someone who walks in peace even when things aren't perfect. Someone who sees problems but doesn't panic. Someone who believes they are never alone. This isn't pretending. This is stepping into alignment. You're acting like the version of yourself that already lives with clarity and confidence. You're not pushing for things to change. You're preparing to receive. Divine help always comes where it's welcomed, not where there is only fear and panic. So ask yourself, how would I speak if I already had help? What would I say if I already believed everything was working out? How would I act if I knew I was not alone in this? And then begin. Even if your mind protests, even if your old story tries to shout louder, keep repeating your truth. Say it like you mean it. Say it until it becomes your normal. I am aligned. I am guided. I am becoming who I was meant to be. The more you say it, the more you believe it. And when belief becomes your foundation, divine help flows freely. Now let's talk about something very simple but incredibly powerful. Choosing one phrase to repeat. Just one. Not a list. Not 10 goals. Just one deep, strong sentence that captures the help you want and the person you're becoming. This phrase will be your anchor. It will hold you steady in chaos. It will become your reminder when doubt creeps in. And repeating it 100 times a day will begin to shape your entire reality. Your phrase should be short, clear, and full of life. It should speak to your spirit. It should feel like a breath of fresh air. Some people choose, I am guided. Others say, everything is working in my favor. Or, I am supported by a higher power. Maybe yours is, I walk in peace and purpose. Or, divine help is always with me. Whatever you choose, let it feel real. Let it feel personal. Let it come from the part of you that still believes in beauty, in hope, in something greater. Once you have your phrase, speak it again and again. Whisper it when you wake up. Say it while brushing your teeth. Say it while driving, walking, resting. Let it become the background music of your life. Let it play in your mind when silence comes. Say it with feeling. Say it with your heart. Even if you start out just repeating it with doubt, over time, your body will soften, your mind will relax, your heart will begin to agree. The goal isn't perfection, the goal is presence. When you say something 100 times a day, it stays with you. It begins to shape your decisions, your reactions, your energy. You start walking differently, thinking differently, and people will notice. They won't know what changed, but they'll feel something peaceful about you, something steady, something strong. And most importantly, divine help will notice. Because you've cleared a space, you've made yourself available, you've declared your trust, and trust is the path that divine answers love to walk on. So pick your phrase, let it live in you, speak it like a prayer, like a promise, like a new identity. Say it over and over until it's no longer just a sentence, it's your truth. And once it becomes your truth, the world around you cannot help but shift to match it. It's natural to want fast results. When you begin saying your chosen phrase 100 times a day, you might expect things to start shifting immediately. But the truth is, spiritual things move in quiet, deep waves, not in sudden explosions. Just because something isn't visible yet doesn't mean it isn't happening. The help you're asking for might already be on its way, moving through people, time, and circumstances you can't see yet. This is where most people give up. They speak their truth for a few days, maybe a week, and then they look around and see nothing changing. That silence makes them question everything. Is this working? Why is nothing happening? And the old habits return. The doubts start speaking louder. The negative words come back, not because the practice didn't work, but because they stopped too soon. You have to stay steady even when nothing seems to be moving. You have to trust the process even when your feelings try to pull you into fear. Think of it like planting a seed. You don't dig it up after 2 days because it hasn't sprouted. You water it. You let the sun reach it. You wait. And then life comes bursting through the soil. Your words work the same way. They are seeds of change. They are not empty wishes. They are filled with energy and direction, but they need time to reach the right place, time to break old patterns, time to create new paths. If you keep speaking them with faith, even when you're tired or unsure, they will eventually bear fruit. So hold on. Keep going. Say your phrase even when the results feel far away, because every repetition is moving something in your favor. And when the moment is right, the divine will show up in a way that will leave no doubt. You were heard. You were never alone. And the help you needed was always just on the other side of your consistency. When you begin this journey of speaking your truth, something important happens. You become more sensitive. You start noticing little things you used to ignore. A kind word from a stranger. A song lyric that speaks directly to what you've been praying for. A sudden moment of peace that washes over you for no reason. These are not small things. They are signs. They are spiritual confirmations. Divine help often doesn't come with loud bangs or flashing lights. It speaks in whispers. It arrives quietly. And if you're not paying attention, you might miss the very help you asked for. This is why noticing small signs matters. They are messages in disguise, clues that your words are working, proof that your energy is shifting. When you say your chosen phrase 100 times a day, you start changing your focus. Instead of watching for problems, you start watching for blessings. Instead of expecting the worst, you begin to expect light. And when you do that, your eyes become tuned to grace. Your heart becomes open to new answers. And your path begins to light up in front of you one small step at a time. This is also how you build trust. You stop needing giant miracles to feel supported. You begin celebrating the small victories. You start saying, "That was for me," even when it's just a quiet moment of relief. And the more you acknowledge these moments, the more they grow. The divine loves to show up where it's welcomed, where it's noticed, where it's thanked. So start keeping track of the small things. Write them down. Speak them out. Smile when they show up. Every little confirmation is a reminder that something greater is at work, and your words have opened the door. There will be days when it feels like nothing is moving. You might feel heavy, lost, or stuck in the same old patterns. On those days, it may feel hard to speak your truth. You'll be tempted to stay quiet, to give in to the voice that says, "What's the point?" But those are the most important days to keep going. That's when you speak anyway. When your emotions are low, your words become your rescue. When your faith feels thin, your phrase becomes your anchor. You don't wait for the feeling to come. You let the practice bring the feeling back. Saying your chosen words in those moments is like lighting a match in the dark. It may feel small at first, but it brings warmth. It brings vision. It keeps your spirit alive. Most people let their feelings control their words, but you can do something greater. You can let your words begin to shape your feelings. You can speak from your future, not your fear. You can say, "I am supported," even when you feel lonely. You can say, "I am protected," even when everything feels uncertain. That is not lying. That is leading. That is spiritual strength. The truth is, you won't always feel strong. You won't always feel clear. But your words don't need your emotions to be perfect. They just need your permission, your choice, your voice. The act of speaking becomes the doorway to change, even when the path is hidden. So speak when you feel inspired, but also speak when you feel low. Speak when it's easy, and speak when it's hard. That is how you build a steady heart. That is how you train your soul to trust. And that is when divine help finds you in your darkest hours, because your voice has kept the light on. There will come a time, maybe a week from now, maybe months from now, when you'll realize something has changed. You'll catch yourself feeling calm in a moment that used to overwhelm you. You'll notice people treating you with more kindness. You'll see doors opening where walls used to be. And you'll remember the words you've been saying 100 times a day like a rhythm of faith. That's when you'll understand this practice isn't about controlling the world. It's about becoming someone who is deeply in tune with divine help, someone who doesn't chase but attracts, someone who doesn't beg but receives, someone who doesn't live in fear but walks in trust. By saying one truth over and over again, you've changed the shape of your inner world. You've softened old doubts. You've broken cycles of negativity. You've become a person who expects good things, even in the middle of difficulty. And when you become that person, the divine responds. Because the truth is, the help you've been seeking has always been available. It didn't arrive when you started speaking. It simply revealed itself because now you were ready to see it. You created the space. You opened your hands. You tuned your heart. And that one simple phrase, spoken again and again, became the bridge between where you were and where you were always meant to be. You've learned now that this isn't just about words. It's about choosing alignment over confusion, clarity over chaos, faith over fear. By doing this one thing 100 times a day, you've chosen to lead your life from within. You've opened the spiritual door and given divine help the signal it's been waiting for. You don't have to beg for miracles. You don't have to wonder if you're worthy. You speak with love. You speak with trust. You speak like someone who already knows they are supported, and the universe listens. So keep going, keep speaking, keep believing. because help is already on the way.